everyone, Jayma Malmy here, and I am going to show you how I made this welded pumpkin Cricut file. I had several requests on how I did it because I did a process video where I showed the process. Let's see, where I showed the process how I put the page together using it. And when I made the file, I wasn't in a place where I could actually record the screen, so I just went ahead and did it and didn't do a tutorial. So I'm gonna go back and do the tutorial, and then I am gonna show you how to do it a little bit different way than I did that would have made my life easier. And if you go back and watch that process video, I'll link to it below, you'll see that I actually backed each pumpkin like a cut file, like with the pattern paper, and then I cut with my scissors around it. So I'm gonna save this file and redo this file with the pumpkins actually cut out. If I was smart, I would have done that in the first place, but I didn't think of it. And so I'll show you how to do that when you make this. So since I already have this file done, I'm going to kind of use it as my template. But first, I'm going to move this down out of my screen, and I'm going to show you where I get the pumpkins. So it is from Close to My Heart's new Complete Creativity Cricut collection, which I own. So I'm going to Images, and I was already in the collection, but if you weren't, you would just go to Cartridges, and then you can type in Complete, and it will show you the Complete Creativity. That is if you own it already. You have to own this. You can't buy it through Design Space. You can purchase it from my affiliate link, and I will link that below. And it is through Cricut's website. It will be an instant download, but you just have to do it through that way rather than through Design Space. So it has a bunch of projects here. There's lots of layouts, cards, stuff like that. It's 24 quote-unquote images, but each image is a complete project. So you've got all these 2-page layouts, 1-page layouts, cards, all that. So we're going to scroll it. Whoops, I passed it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so it's this 2-page layout right here with the pumpkins. So I'm going to select that. I am going to insert image, and then it puts the whole 2-page layout here. Now it doesn't have the background 12 by 12 page on here because the Cricut obviously cannot cut a 12 by 12 page. But it has everything else that you will need. And I did use this layout in another process video and showed how I altered the layout. So you can go back and watch that also, and I will link that below. But basically this comes as a grouped image. So you're going to first ungroup it up here. And then we don't need anything except for the pumpkins. So let's drag this pumpkin down. We don't need these little layers and this pumpkin. And then this pumpkin overlay, we don't need the layers. We want the background. And this pumpkin over here is the same file as the other one. So now we can get rid of everything else. Bye-bye. Okay. And, oops, there's some more stars up here. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and Control A will select all and move it back up here to the top of my mat. All right. So first thing I want to do is I want to ungroup these 2 pumpkins that are stuck together. Now they aren't actually grouped, so you can't ungroup them. They are actually like this as the image. I'm not sure why, but I want them to be freestanding pumpkins. So I am going to go over here and use a circle. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that circle while I'm at it, and I am going to slice these pumpkins. So slicing means you take 2 images and you select both layers, and when you slice down here, it basically slices one into the other. This can be super handy for multiple things. So first of all, we're not going to need any of the gray layers, but if you were to you could do a project where you actually want this circle with a pumpkin cut out of it. And so you would use a slice feature and it would actually cut the circle with a pumpkin cut out of it. You could center it and everything, and that would be super cute, like for a wall plaque or something. But for this project, we don't want that. We've now got one pumpkin here, and it automatically took this pumpkin to its own, on its own too. This one already is on its own, and now we need the background for these other guys. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna make this circle so that it covers that. We're gonna select, whoops, I accidentally selected these. We're gonna select both layers, slice, and get rid of the gray. So now we're left with this pumpkin and this pumpkin. So I hope that makes sense. Now, what I didn't do was keep the backgrounds for these pumpkins because I had an idea in my mind. I knew I wanted to back the pumpkins with different pattern papers and such, and I just kind of went about doing that the way that you typically would back a cut file. But since we have the backs of these pumpkins, what I'm going to do is line them up and group them. So there we go, it's grouped. And I'm going to do that with each of these. It doesn't have to be totally perfect because they're going to be separated eventually anyway. This is just to, whoops, I want that to be, I'm going to move the orange to be behind. So up here in arrange, I'm going to go move to back so that the white piece is on top. And then I'm going to grab them both again and group. And then same with this white piece, I'm going to bring that one to front because I had the white selected and line it up, select both and group. All right, so now I've got all three pumpkins grouped. Now to do the welding, what I did was I didn't have the orange backgrounds, mind you. I just had the outlines, but it will work either way. Oh, and also note, I got rid of the white, some of these little curly cues on some of them, and I did that by slicing the same way we just did with the whole pumpkin. But I had to do it in several spots, several times. So here's something to note. You can only slice when there's two images. Right now we have three because these two are grouped plus the circle. So I need to ungroup. I need to select just the white overlay and just this one and hold control and that one. Okay, and then slice. And that is going to start removing part of this. Now, for the sake of time, I am not going to do this whole thing because it took about 4 slices to do it and get it right. But I'll show you a couple. I'm holding control over here. Sometimes it's easier. I had this clicked and I'm holding control while I click this so that I select both of these. Hit slice, and then we're going to clear out the unwanted pieces. So we're going to keep doing that. I'm not going to get this part perfect, but I will get rid of that other little piece. An easier way to do that would have in the beginning was to duplicate this circle a few times since I knew I was going to need a bunch of them. Okay, so every time you slice, you're getting down to more images. Now I don't need these circles. I'm not going to worry about getting this perfect. I'm not going to do these ones, but I did get rid of this one on my original file and this on the original file. All right, so now I'm going to group these, group that again. Okay, so I started down here, and then I took this one, and what I did was, see how this is fatter? I unlocked this here, and then I pulled this, and since I have both layers grouped, it's pulling both and stretching both of those layers at the same time. All right, and then we're going to take this one and make sure that you overlap each one just a little bit. You don't want it to be overlapped a lot, but imagine it, once these are welded together as one piece, where you want them to be. Now, this one is this one again, so I'm going to click that. Up here, I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to move that up here. Now it looks like I had that just about the same size as the one over here. So I'll just leave that. We've got that one again up here, so I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that again, but then I resized that down, and then I also unlocked it and stretched it quite a bit. Now, when I originally worked on this, I had to kind of fit the images into little nooks and crannies, and so I was building from the bottom up and had to resize and stretch and skew and flip and rotate to make sure that everything fit in the right spaces. So this one, well, let's take this one again. So this one is the same one up here. So we're going to duplicate that and size that down quite a bit. And we've got that one. And then we're going to duplicate that again, and oh, that doesn't look like the same one. But up here, flip horizontal. There we go. Use the same pumpkin, rotated it just a little bit, and it gave it a different look. So that's another way to make your Cricut cuts go further. It looks like I unlocked that and stretched that one just a little bit too. Okay, so we're gonna just keep doing that for each piece until we have everything all lined up how we want. So now when we weld all of these together, I don't want the orange. So what I kept them together and grouped them together for this part because I wanted to make sure all of the different pumpkins had a backing that would match them in the right size and how I skewed them and all of that. But now I want to ungroup each one, and I don't want the top layer, I want just the bottom pumpkin. Undo. Okay, so I'm gonna have to use the arrow keys because I want to get it out of the way without the white overlay is on top, so I don't want that to get in the way. So these don't have to stay in any particular order. They're gonna cut on their own unless you're gonna wanna assign the colors to them. So this one would have been, so on this layer it would have been green, so I might wanna color that one green so that I know. And then this one, let's see, what I could do is arrange, send to back. Oh, it's got, okay, so let me get this out of the way because that's my original file. Okay. Got to remember to ungroup. Now, it's choosing the white because that's what's on top. So I want to arrange, send to back so that I can then grab this orange piece. And that's the right color. That's the color I used in my layout, so I'm not going to change that color. Now here we go. This one, ungroup. When I click it, the white's on top, so I went to Arrange, Send to Back, choose the orange. Oh wait, this one was, that one was, what do you call it? Vellum. So we'll do light gray for vellum. This one was orange, so we'll move that over. This one was pink, so we will ungroup, select the white, arrange, send to back, select the orange, turn it to pink. I don't like that pink, but that'll have to do. Okay, and then move that over. We're gonna select this one, ungroup. Now select, arrange, send to back. And this one I also had in vellum, so we will do it in light gray. So are you getting the idea here? Now we've got all of our pumpkin backers over here, and we have all of our individual white pieces over here, but we want to make those one piece. So I want to explain a little bit about the difference between welding, attaching, and grouping. So grouping will make all of these pumpkins one group, so you can move them around the mat together, but it's not going to cut them as you see here. So you can see that there's still some images overlapping each other. You can see all the black lines. When you go, let's see, I'm just gonna save this since I'm gonna send to Matt. When I go to make it, it's got all of the pumpkins. Oh, this is my original file. So if we go here, it's got all these pumpkins as their own pumpkins. They're not welded together. So we're gonna cancel that. And for my demo purposes, I am gonna go ahead and hide that. Okay, so now these are all grouped, but we know that's not going to cut it like this. So we're going to go ahead and ungroup them. You can keep it grouped. It doesn't harm anything in just grouping it if it's easier to move around the mat. Now, attach will make it so you can move them together around the mat. And when you go to cut it, they will be grouped on the mat as well, and they will cut like this. But the problem is they will cut through the other pumpkins. So you're gonna have slices through all the other pumpkins. You're gonna have all these little teeny tiny pieces, and it's just gonna be a mess. So you don't want to attach it. Let's detach, and what we want is weld. And that will make all of this one solid piece. You don't see these lines here anymore in between each piece. And when you go to cut it, it will all be one piece. Now, I had this little problem before. Some of these pieces, when you go to weld it, for some reason, are making a thicker line. It's filling in, and I'm not sure why. So what I did to get around it was I undid the weld. And instead, I welded in batches. So I tried just some. No, that one did it. So let's undo. It seemed that if I just welded like 2 at a time, it was okay. So that was okay, because this one was all welded together before. And then let's try that. No, it's doing it again. I don't know why. If someone knows how to troubleshoot, let me know. Let's try those separate ones. Okay. I'm not sure why it's doing it, but I did find a workaround. Oh, see, that one's doing it. So I wonder if I go to contour. No, it's not giving me an option. Okay, so let's undo that. Let's try, whoops. welding there. Now let's weld. See, that worked. Now let's weld there. We're good there. Okay, so everything is welded in, like, at least to one other thing. So now we can take the whole thing. And there we go. Okay, super roundabout way to do it. But now you know if that happens to you, just try doing like 2 at a time and then another couple at a time so that it's just, and then you gotta kind of work on it. So if anybody knows how to fix that, then let me know. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I am not a Cricut expert. I know enough to get around and do certain things that I want to do, but I'm always learning too. So you can see how there's all of these little scrolly things. The vines, which in my original file, I got rid of over here. So there's some little vines, but not as many. And that's the reason why I didn't want them all over. So if you don't want to go through the work of slicing them all off, you can just cut it like this, and then chances are a lot of it's going to be hidden anyway, like you're not seeing any of this because my picture's hiding it anyway. Or if you are going to see it and you don't want it, you can just trim it off with your scissors once you cut it. If you don't want to cut all that intricate stuff, because it will take a little bit longer actually cutting time with the Cricut, then you can spend the time beforehand of actually slicing it. Okay, so I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions at all, then please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. And if you want to see anything else in more detail that I have done, then let me know. And I will go ahead and link the process video for this process, for the process video I actually use this cut file in. I will link that below so you can watch that if you are interested. And I will also link my Cricut affiliate link below if you wanted to purchase this Complete Creativity Cricut collection from Close to My Heart. It is only available through Close to My Heart consultants on the special affiliate link that I will have below. So that's how you have to buy it if you want it. And yeah, so let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial or want to watch other Cricut process videos, then please subscribe to my channel and click the bell if you want to be notified when I post videos, which I post at least once a week. I'm trying to do more, and I appreciate you. Have a great day.